I am the video game warrior. I am the only one that stands between evil, woke empire and our precious video games. Now, if you have spent any time online, you probably have encountered that kind of a guy. Hell, the world's richest dude is kinda sort of that guy. Well, they are kinda right that there is this force that controls video games, but they are incredibly wrong about what that force is. Let me explain. Okay, so there are a lot of these video game warriors, people who say that they are fighting against woke games, that they are fighting for the soul of the video games, right? They are saying that if they won't fight for video games, and in their case fighting for video games is writing mean things on internet and harassing developers, then every video game will become woke, and woke of course is bad. And usually they say that there is this some sort of a invisible force, a monster that is destroying video games, that wants to turn every video game in some sort of a woke nightmare, whatever woke means, because these days woke means things that some dude does not like, but that's besides the point. They are wrong, but actually there is, like I said, an invisible hand, actually the invisible hand that controls the video game market. You see, there was this guy called Adam Smith, and he is the forefather of the modern economics. He really liked the idea of the free market, basically mostly unregulated market where every participant, even though they participate in the free market because of selfish reasons, they do something beneficial for the society as a whole. Like, for example, I make hats, there is another guy in my town that makes hats, we both make hats, we have our customers. Since we are two, we are in the competition with each other, so we can't raise our prices too high, and of course we have the customers who are looking for good, well-made hats for a reasonable price, right? And so all of us, even though we all participate in this for selfish reasons, like I want to earn money, that guy wants to earn money, the person buying the hat wants a good hat, we still do create benefit for the society because we create the money flow, we employ people, we buy materials. Since we are two, like I said, we keep each other in check, and if our quality will suddenly drop, then one of us will lose out on the customers, and we can't afford that. Right, basically, I am simplifying, but that was the Adam Smith's idea. And in general, Adam Smith's idea kinda sort of works, but if you have paid any attention to what is going on in the world, you know that there is a need for certain regulation because companies otherwise will take your last penny away and give you trash products. Especially big companies, they might agree on price for our hats or phones or whatever. So we need governmental intervention that says that agreeing upon prices is not good, is bad, it's illegal. We need regulation to save us from monopolies, because then if there is a monopoly, there is only one provider of the thing and he can charge whatever he wants, and so on and so forth. So Adam Smith was definitely not 100% correct, but that's besides the point. This is not a channel for economics, this is channel for video games, and I just like to use Adam Smith's example because it calls back to what these video game warriors are saying, that they are fighting this invisible force that is molding video games in some sort of a woke abomination, right? Thing is that the invisible hand works in video games as well. Well, I'm not talking maybe about the video game price and console price and things like that, because I actually find it weird that every AAA game costs basically the same. But the conversation today is not about that, because those video game warriors that are saying that they are protecting us from the horrible games actually do not care about that. They only look at the content side, right? They always talk about content. There is a handful of things that they do not like in video games: LGBTQ, women without huge anime breasts, minorities, sexual, racial, and so on and so forth. That is the things they do not like. So basically they're talking only about content side. But on the content side, the invisible hand works perfectly, because video games are so diverse, and I mean that in the sense where you can play them, who can make them, and how you can acquire them. Like, there are consoles, PC, mobile. There are so many different platforms where developers can publish their game and people can access them. Steam, Epic Games, GOG, various different mobile platforms. Consoles are sort of a little bit of a monopoly in their own little kingdoms, but that is changing also. And of course, there is even piracy. I mean, that's not maybe the best example, but still, that is one of the things that balances out the market. And on the other hand, there are so many video game developers and publishers. There are so many AAA studios, there are AA studios, there are 1 billion indies. So basically saying that there is some sort of invisible force that is turning video games gay is not really a valid argument. If suddenly every game would become woke and gay, then that would be the will of the market. In other words, will of the people. Because who are the people who are buying those games? You can fantasize and imagine that, I don't know, BlackRock is trying to turn games gay and they are pumping billions into making bad, woke games, right? But the thing is, those big investment companies and in general everyone wants to make money. Nobody is set out to make bad products because they are losing the money. They are losing the investors' money. And if investors are not happy, then they are not happy. They are taking their money elsewhere. So no, BlackRock is not pumping billions into making games bad. Video game market is very good in the sense that it rewards or punishes games. Like, if it is a good game, then it gets rewarded. Baldur's Gate 3, incredibly woke game if you look at it. But it got so many awards, it got so many players. It is a very good example of, if it's good, it's good. Like, on the other hand, let's say Forspoken did not meet Square Enix's sale targets, and people were saying woke equals bad, go woke, go broke. Well, I mean, would you have played this game more if the main character would have been brown-haired American dude named Mason?
What do you want from me?
We want the numbers, Mason. That's all we've ever wanted.
Would you? I really don't think. Maybe it would have sold a couple of 1,000 copies more. It just failed to interest people. And we can see how the market works. The casual audiences, like the people who are buying the games, they show what they like. For example, people like Assassin's Creed and Assassin's Creed style games. There is no denying that, because people keep on buying them. Those games keep on selling well. The same for Call of Duty. I guess the same for Souls games. 5 years ago, Souls games became super popular and a lot of studios started to make them. And they will continue on making Souls-style games until the market stops rewarding them for that. And that's the same for every genre. So, like I said, if suddenly every game becomes woke and gay, then that means that most of the consumers decided that they want that. So you can see that these video game warriors are either talking nonsense because they just don't understand how things work, or they understand really, really well how things work. They are just interested in pushing their own narrative for their own reasons. Like YouTubers and people who are active on X, of course, do that for financial gain. Elon Musk, who said that he plans on making AI video game studio, he has money to burn on his hobbies, but also he's a businessman, so he probably sees a way to earn money from this. So that's the free market for you. If he makes something good, people will buy it. If he makes trash, people will not buy it. So you can see these video game warriors have no logic behind them, have no reasoning behind them. But also, I have seen that there are developers and bloggers and maybe even sometimes video game journalists who say that this or that game failed because the gamers were homophobic, racist, misogynistic, and so on and so forth. Well, that is also probably not true. Again, Baldur's Gate 3, good example, but if your product in the free market does not sell well, especially in the market like video game world, because you have access to every gamer in the world, then it is your responsibility. You failed your game because you did not market it properly, or you did not make a good enough game that lights up the interest of the gamers. Because market is very simplistic. People want what they want. Like I said, people want Assassin's Creed, Call of Duty, but they also want Baldur's Gate. And so the game's promoters, publishers, marketing team, whatever, that is their job to convince people that, hey, this is a product that you would like. But sometimes it just happens naturally. Like, for example, Vampire Survivors, a super basic, small indie game, but it caught fire. Sometimes it is hard to measure, and I definitely believe that there are some game studios who made wonderful games, but for some reason they just did not earn their money back. So, of course, free market is not perfect, but you can't blame people for not buying your consumer goods, your entertainment products. If they do not want it, they do not want it. You have to make something people want, or you have to be ready to suffer financial consequences. But these days, it's also so much more easier to reach specific audiences and create products for specific groups. I am not saying that it is good or bad that we have many Assassin's Creed and Call of Duties and FIFAs and NHLs and stuff like that, and we don't have that many actually Baldur's Gates or Elden Rings, but it is what it is. Okay, just to recap, these video game warriors are wrong about the force that controls video game industry. No, BlackRock is not pouring billions into making games woke equals bad. No. Basically, there is supply and demand, and market is very harsh, but if a game is good, most of the time it sells well. And there is no way that every game will become the same thing. Not all games will be woke. There definitely will be woke games, there'll be anti-woke games, but bad games are bad games, or they are badly promoted, badly made, badly sold, badly marketed, and good games are good games. Simple as that. Video game warriors are full of crap because there is no fight. They are participating in it. There is no fight. Well, guys, that's it for today. Write down in the comments if you disagree with me. Write down in the comments if you agree with me. And I will be back sometimes later. Bye!
What are you doing?